Hi guys, I hope you all would be doing great, and today I'm here with a brand new video about if-else statements in C++. What are if-else statements, how they are used, and for what purpose they are used for. So before starting this video, if you are new to my channel, please subscribe my channel and do like and share this if it helps you. And so now we are getting started with the video. Okay, so here today we are going to discuss about what are the if-else statements. So here I am using the dev C++ IDE, and there is a simple program written in C++, and first I will be explaining about the if-else statements. Then there are different types of if-else, for example nested if, and uh, if and else, or the simple if. Okay, so here, yeah, if you can see that here we have our if. Okay, we have to write if is a keyword in C++, and then we have the round brackets, or you can call them parentheses. Inside them there is a condition. Okay, there will always be a condition written in between these brackets. This condition will be evaluated as true or false. Okay, for example, now let's assume that this condition is evaluated to be as true. So if this condition, let me add in comment, if condition equals true, so when the program is executing, so if this condition gets true, then the statement, that is the statement 1 inside these parentheses, or inside these brackets, will be executed. Okay, and whatever the else block is, it will be neglected by the program. These if else are called as the control structures in program, because they control the flow of program. Okay, for example, your program is just flowing through like this. Okay, if it comes down to the if, checks the condition. If the condition is true, then it executes the statement 1, not the statement 2. It neglects the statement 2 if the condition inside that if bracket gets true. Okay, so now what if the condition gets false? Now let's assume that the condition here gets false. Okay, so then the program neglects the if block, and then it executes the else block. Okay, it neglects the if block and executes the else block, whatever the statement inside the block else block is. For example, here we have the statement 2 inside the else block, so it will execute the statement 2. So else block is executed when condition equals false. Okay, so that is the most simple explanation of the if else statements in C++. Now we are going to talk about the nested if else. Okay, so what is the nested if else? For example, there is a program where we want to check that whether a number is greater than 0. For example, we are asking the user to input a number, but the condition, or the initial condition for that number should be to greater than 0. Okay, so we are declaring a variable here int number. Okay, and then we are asking the user to enter or to input that number. So for the initial condition, we are assuming that our number should be greater than 0. Okay, our number should be greater than 0. And now inside that if, we want to further evaluate that whether this number is divisible by 2 or not. Okay, so here we are haven't and discussed about the operators, but let me tell you that this is the greater than operator. This checks that whether the number input by the user, it is greater than 0 or not. So for example, if we are entering 1 as an input, so 1 is greater than 0, so number greater than 0 will be evaluated to true, and then it will enter inside these brackets for the further evaluation of this statement. So here we have that number mod 2 equals 0. What is the mod operator? So mod operator gives us the remainder of a number when a number is being divided by another number. For example, here the number is, for example, here the number, let me add a comment. For example, here a number equals 4. Okay. So 4 mod 2 equals 0 because what here happens is that 2 completely divides 4. Okay, 2 completely divides 4 and there is no remainder left aside. So for example, if we have here 3, so 2 does not completely divide 3. 2 twos are one, 2 ones are 2, so 1 is left behind, so 3 mod 2 equals 1, not the 0. Okay, so that here is the simplest explanation of the mod operator. Then we know that this double equals represents the equality operator. So it is called equality operator. It checks here the left expression and the right expression and compares them, that whether these two are equal or not, and if they are equal, then this is evaluated to the true value. Okay, so for example, we are just taking this. Okay, so let me inside add a statement, so we should be prompted that whether our these two conditions are evaluated to true or false. So here I am just displaying a statement to the console, suggest we have an understanding of that whether our two conditions are evaluated to true. So I would display that cout number is greater than 1 and divisible by 2. Okay, so let's just run it and we'll check that whether our if conditions are working or not. So here the cursor is blinking, so I'm just inputting and entering a number. So I will input 2, and yes, we get number is greater than 1 and divisible by 2. Okay, so if here we see that we have entered the number 2, 2 is greater than 0, so this condition is evaluated to true. This if else block will be executed. Now it comes here on this line, then it checks that whether number that is 2 in mod 2 equals 0. So we know that 2 mod 2 equals 0 because 2 completely divides 2. So the statement inside that if block is executed, cout number is greater than 1 and divisible by 2. So this is the explanation of the nested if that we have if inside ifs. Okay, so when the parent if is executed, so then the statement or the child if inside that if a statement will be executed. So far we have this covered about the if else and the nested if. Now we talk about what are the else if statements. Okay, so for example, we have a program. Let's just take this example in number and see in number. So we are just inputting a number from the user. So here the first condition I write is number is greater than 5. Okay, cout number is greater than 5. Okay, we use else if when we have different scenarios. For example, we have different conditions, we have multiple conditions, so we use if else, and we want that only the one condition to be evaluated, or you can say that we only want one condition to be true or false, not 2, 3 or 4 conditions. And I will tell you that how we can do that. For example, if you want that 3 or 2 conditions to be true, so how do we do that? I will tell you about this. So first we are just discussing about how if we only want one condition among the multiple conditions to be true. So for that purpose we have to use else if. Okay, so number is greater than 5, so cout number is greater than 5 will be executed. Now we have else if where we want that number is less than 5. Okay, so C out number is less than 5. Okay, and then in the else we have C out number equals 5. So now if we see that, for example, in we are getting a number, for example we are getting a 10 from the user. Okay, so if we are getting number as a 10 from the user, so number here 10 is greater than 5. Okay, 10 is greater than 5, so this statement will be executed. See, our number is greater than 5, and then all the other statements that are else if and else will be neglected. Okay, these would be simply neglected. Now what if we have a number, for example 4, as an input from the user? So else if number 4 is less than 5, so number is less than 5 will be executed. Now only one case is left, that is number can be equal to 5. So when we get an input number as a 5 from the user, so 5 equals 5, and number greater than 5, no, this statement is false, so this is a block will not be executed. Then else if we have that number is less than 5, so 5 is less than 5, also evaluated to false, so this statement will not be executed. In the end we are only left with the else block, and that else block does not define a condition, because we do not need any condition for the else block, but we know that only one case is left behind, that 5 equals 5, and whatever the statement will be inside that else block will be executed, so we get number equals 5. So we use else if condition, else if when we have multiple conditions and we want that among the multiple conditions we only get a only one condition to be true, or we want only one result to be displayed. So that is all about if else statements in C++. I don't know that I have explained everything much clearer, but it was so much practical, I think, because I have written practical examples over here to just make you guys understand everything. Okay, so if you do want to just learn coding or the programming languages, especially C++, do watch my videos regularly, and do watch and subscribe my channel. Thank you so much.